The way to get a private reading with me here at weforetell.com is to find the contact number and schedule. It's right below in the description. Check out our other free material here on YouTube, things like horoscopes, tarot card lessons, compatibility videos, and if you like what you see, please hit thumbs up because it really does make a difference, and we do thank you for your support. And it's we're also joined in our chat room tonight by subscribers to the channel. Cody's saying, "Hey, and how have I been?" Wow, Cody, I have come through such a cosmic experience that was foretold by a lady who did a reading for me over 15 years ago, and it has finally now. I see exactly what she was saying, and it has come into being in such a cosmic way. Cody says, also been through a lot. It's the Gemini influence that is affecting everybody. The prediction that was done by a lady named Mary Ann Russell from Portland, Maine. Just an amazing reader, and my wife was having real problems with the fact that I had a heart attack, and she wasn't able to help me because a customer in her beauty shop was also having a heart attack and taking her time. And she was having a hard time understanding what was meant by all of this. And Mary Ann Russell is a specialist who was working with the hospitals here in our city. And my wife's doctor recommended seeing Mary Ann Russell, and just an amazing reader of past lives. And the thing that she read in the past life of my wife and myself is that we were children taken in by a band of gypsies, and the gypsies are led by the soul who's my granddaughter in this life. And one of the people within the gypsy band that I really have a lot of problems with is the soul who's my son in this life. So the prediction was that Mary Ann Russell made was my wife gets very, very ill. The treatment costs so much money that there's a real battle within the gypsy camp as to whether we go steal the medicine or not. And it turns out that she doesn't get the medicine, or the medicine is too dear, which is exactly what happened in this life with her cancer treatment, right? It's incredible what the treatment does to you. But the prediction that Mary Ann Russell made was that she does get better in the end. And the way that she gets better is a woman who comes into the camp who's brought in by my son, the one who causes so many problems for me. This woman, all that Mary Ann Russell could tell me was that she was different from everyone else in the camp, but that she was going to be responsible for my wife being healed. And what has happened over the past couple of months, my wife got out of her sick bed. She's having a third round with operations from cancer and the cancer treatments. And she was just so far down. It was just, it was as far down as anybody could possibly get. And in the middle of all of this, if you'll think back to a couple of months ago when I was crying about there were people in my house that I couldn't get out of my house for legal reasons. And this was the woman that my son brought in, who, yes, is so completely different that she made my wife so mad that she got up out of the bed and has been feeling better ever since. And I mean, literally has said, I'm going to get better. It's an incredible story of the woman who's different from everyone else being the catalyst for her getting well. So my life has taken such an upturn in just the past month or two, because I got my partner back. We've been married for over 50 years. We got married when we were teenagers. We've grown up together our entire lives. And to have her back, very, very, very close to normal, to where she was, to have her actually beat this thing. And to see the entire prediction come true. Here's David saying, hey, and how am I? And hope all good. Long time no see. David, let me see here. We really should have started with Cody, right? Cody gets the first card tonight. So let's have a look at our members in the chat room. That's what we're going to spend this hour doing, is answering their questions. Cody, the first thing that I'm seeing with you is you have found the person who tells you who you are. I don't know, maybe that's me. I don't know. The person who can tell you what your gifts and talents are. The person who appreciates your gifts and talents and shows you how to really appreciate your own, how to not undervalue your own your talents when you're out there trying to blow your own horn. It's the hardest thing in the world to do, right? It truly is. And yeah, Cody said nice. Now, David is with us tonight. David, if you've just gotten what you wished for. Yeah, that's the wish card, and it's making ripples in the center that are going all the way out to the edges of the pond. You're doing what has just happened for you, David. What is starting here is going to ripple out all different directions from you. It's going to affect everyone who's around you, everyone you care about, everyone that you see about, that you see over, and this truly is getting what you've asked for, what you've prayed for, and this is what is going to come into your life. David says, awesome. I've been in an awakening process since I'm 33. Boy, what an awesome age. Yes, 33. 3 is speaking what's in your heart, being able to express yourself. The double 3, 33. This is your time. The world's listening. You have the attention of the world, and it's It's great to be able to say what's in your heart, to get it out into the world. Cody says it was a pretty good video. Uh, 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 so it's hard. Right? Next month's predictions. Oh, okay. I see. Cody says the Taurus reading for next month's predictions that we're working on. In order to do horoscopes, you have to work 2 months ahead. I have to, in some part of my mind, be living in a reality 2 months ahead of now, knowing what the sign's going to be, what the moon sign's going to be, and you really can. It's like time traveling. You can move yourself out there. David says also a Taurus. And born 1989. Okay, David, your birth number would be 10, 15, 25, 34, 42. You're a 4 plus 2 equals 6. 6, the perfectionist, right? 6 means that you always look for the higher good, and sometimes to a fault, where you get yourself stuck because you're waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the perfect person, the perfect job, and you can get struck in inertia. But the 6 is the same birth number as today. This is June 2nd, 2023, and that adds up to a 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. And 6 is all about fighting that perfectionist thing that will be with you all of your life, but it can lead you to be an inspiration for other people, to find that higher job, that higher vocation. Cody says his life path number is 9. 9. Now see, 9 is not only the final number in the cycle. Things come to us, in 9-year cycles. 9 is the final step in everything, is to release it, to let it go, to know when to hold them and when to fold them, know when it's time to get up and leave. That's the great lesson of the 9. David says, appreciate the feedback. David, there's big things happening for you right now, and it's up to you to interpret those things as they come in. So often, the good things that come in that we've asked for come to us, but in another form. They come disguised as something that maybe looks like new responsibilities, right? And it's up to us to see the good in everything, to accept that good and bad comes from the same place. Good and bad are 2 points on the same line, and everything in this universe is circular, right? Cody says his birth number 11, 20, 20. Well, now see, his birth date is 11 and I see 26 plus 19, right? So 36, 369. Yeah, you're exactly right. The 369 is here to lead by example, to show others the path, to light the way. It's the hermit with the lantern, right? Lighting the path for others. David says, agree in exploring lately the dream world, having lots of lucid dreams, exploring dimensions, quite the ride, and just starting. David, this is the pure six energy within you. You know who's the most famous six? Christopher Columbus, the great explorer, the man who sails off into the unknown, hoping for the best. Who knows what he expected to find out there? But when you, David, when you explore your own mind, that's the greatest exploration ever, right? It's because it's all the information that you need. Everybody on this earth receives different information about the same thing. It's like all the different forms of horoscopes that have formed all around the world. Now, people in different countries all look at the same sky. They look at the same stars doing the same thing up there, and they interpret it very differently. They come up with new ideas, new ways of seeing the same thing. Every human being sees things differently. Every human being has a personal relationship with the unseen world. Through the angels, we're able to actually communicate with God. David says, indeed. No, wait a minute. Let me go back a hair here. Cody says, yeah, I thought it was cool. You said, I had a reader that was predicting 15 years ago. I was 12 at that time. Yeah, that's usually the way that people come into knowledge of their intuition is to have a reading and have someone who you've never seen before in your life tell you about the people in your life that only you know about. You thought only you knew about. It's quite a revelation, and to accept the fact that your readings are correct is the only prerequisite to be a seer, to be a reader, to believe in yourself, to believe that you're blessed enough that you're going to get the correct messages from your spirit guides and from the spirit guides of the people that you do readings for. Cody says time flies by. He was 12 years old. And 15 years ago is when I had to quit doing what I'd always done. Had heart attacks. I was made to sit down, slow down, and find my spiritual self. They were talking to me, and one of the big factors of doing any kind of spiritual work is listening. and what happened to me slowed me down enough, the heart attacks, to finally be able to listen, to stop asking for things so hard and listen to the answers that you're getting and accept the answers that you're getting. Because maybe you're not supposed to have everything that you ask for. I'd say you have a pretty good chance of that, right? Yeah, we're not enlightened. We don't know exactly what we're going to need in the next world or this one, for that matter. We're all running blind here, just hoping for the best. David says, indeed, very tough road, but a privilege to be on it. And that's exactly it. Life is about living and getting out and living with other people. And that's the great lesson that we learn from Gemini. Gemini, the the yin, the yang, the male, the female, the two opposites are the twins that are represented in Gemini. It's the two sides of yourself, the emotional and the logical sides that are butting heads. And in Gemini, everything moves super fast because of being Mercury being the ruling planet. And here's Heather saying hello, and SJ joining us in the chat room. And let's see, Heather, how things are going with you tonight. If I pull a card for Heather, trying to make a decision, and your time is up, you find that you get pushed into these situations where you don't have all the information, but you still have to make the decision in order to get you to ask your spirit guides for help. That's why they're with you. They want to be useful. And in the beginning of the program, I asked for the thumbs up for support. The way you show your support for your own spirit guides is by following their advice, doing what the omens tell you to do. That is saying thank you to your guides. And SJ asking how I've been. Much better. Things have really fallen into place here lately. And my personal life, which had really been chaotic, is now very smooth. And as we come up to the summer solstice here, I feel like I'm just on vacation. And that I've jumped off the merry-go-round, and things have stopped moving overly fast. Cody says, one thing, share the life number 9, the one and only funny man. You know, one thing that Gleason did was work for women's rights. The Honeymooners are a show in the early 1950s when violence to women, authoritative rule of the family was the norm. And what they put on TV as the Honeymooners is this huge husband always threatening the little wife, and the little wife, instead of falling apart like Lucy did, with Lucy and Desi, she turns out to be the rock. She turns out to be the smart one. She turns out to be the one who's seen the reality. And just, they were teaching America how to live with each other. That's the wonderful thing that 50s television brought to us. SJ wants to pull a card for her. SJ. Let's see. Wow. The luck card. The omen coming to you there is that bird that's on your shoulder. Look for a hawk, an eagle, perched somewhere strange, somewhere where that bird shouldn't be, and you're seeing your guides laying out a perfect omen for you. Follow the directions that you feel when you see that bird. That's what's coming. Cody says Gleason was making jokes on a struggle married couples. It really is a wonderful teaching tool, the television. And there's I read a lot. I'm probably the only person in America that still reads a morning newspaper. And just the other day, was the birthday of Edwin Minow. Minow, you say? Oh, Minow, who was a television critic in the 1950s. Minow, who came up with the phrase "the Great Wasteland," because every show on TV in the 50s was a shoot 'em up Western. And just so overly dramatic that when in 1961 Minow was named the FCC chairman, the Federal Communications chairman, and his ideas suddenly had to meld into everybody who wanted to be on television. Suddenly, television in 1961 becomes family oriented to a fault. The dramas are gone, the shootings are gone. What we get are shows like Gilligan's Island. As an inside joke on Mr. Minow, what's the name of the boat that they go to Gilligan's Island? The Minnow, the SS Minnow, right? That was all in reaction to what was on TV at that time. oh, um, um, the, the the things that happened in the 50s and 60s on television reflect the fact that there were only 3 television stations. You see, when Minow said that it was a great wasteland, he wasn't really talking about 500 channels and nothing on, but it was so true. And it would be even truer. It was true when there were only 3 networks. They couldn't find enough programming to put on the networks, and now we've hit overkill. We've hit the saturation point. And the same with music. Can you expect to keep making the sort of money in the entertainment industry? Can you really project that into the future? Can it get any more than what it is right now? Who knows where the breaking point is? There's the whole idea behind putting 500 channels on cable was they would put a different movie or a different show on each cable channel. It would have their own channel because there were so many channels. But there's never been enough programming for those. And the programming of the 1960s just really got to a point where it was pointless. And this is what also happened to news reporting. You see, in the 1950s, they stopped reporting the news of, say, the president, because our president, Eisenhower, was not a politician. He had been a war hero, World War II, and he was elected to put the country back on the right track. Heather's saying, "What do I need to do to help the son with behavior due to neglect from his father? On the wait list for a big brother? Oh, a 3-year waiting list. Goodness. Get the counseling, went for home services, and in very low esteem." Heather, let's point in what to do. What is what do your guides say? And yes, exactly. He is very psychically inclined. There's the sun right there. And as you see, the sunlight is getting to him, Heather. The information from God is getting through to him. He's spiritually connected. Yes, you're exactly right. He doesn't know how to use it yet, but he has a real open channel to communicate with his guides, and that's what's going to save him. They, as we were talking a minute ago, guides want to be used. They want to be of help. They want you to get better. So what you need to do, what they're showing here, is you need to be that sunlight. In this situation, you've got to be mother and father. And there's it's not as hard a task as you think it is, because when you explain this to the boy, he'll understand. And then that open communication is what's missing here. That's the father-son bonding. It's a very necessary thing, but only because we see it so often in movies and television, and we think that that's the norm. We think we're the only one that has an off-center home life. What you need to do is to talk with him about these things. Now, television's not real. There aren't any television dads out there. They're going to solve every problem for you at the end of 30 minutes. That's not the way the world is. And the way the world is today, there are an awful lot of children who don't have that full family circle around them. And if you can help them understand why it is that they need that love, then they won't go looking for it in the wrong places and from the wrong things. So, David says, thanks for all the content and have a great weekend. You know what happens this weekend, David? Full moon. The full moon is going to rise in Sagittarius. And that almost certainly means travel. That you're going to have a chance to move around this weekend. So be ready to move when you get the chance, right? Cody says the dimension world. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Cody. Okay, but moon sign is in Sagittarius. Yes. The moon is in Scorpio tonight, and that means there's a real need for everyone to have serious talk, serious emotional talks. That's what that Scorpio moon out there tonight is really advancing in everyone. Cody says I've got to be traveling tomorrow, and that's when the full moon is going to break through. And Sagittarius, the thing about Gemini is about transportation, right? And Gemini is about short trips. Whereas Sagittarius, the fire sign, they don't go halfway on anything, right? They're going to make a trip halfway around the world. It's no problem. The further, the better. And that's what's going to be pushing us this weekend, as we all get that travel lust for moving around and being out there. The Gemini, this this Gemini trip that we're having right now under this Gemini sun is all about opposites attracting, strangers finding each other, and the stranger the better, right? But opposites that attract to the point that people don't know what happened, why they were so attracted to their complete opposite. And very often it's because it's your job to cure them. You are the cure. You're the one who's going to be the doctor here. And this is why you were brought into to another life. And this is it's trying to find our purpose. It is why we're here. Cody says, trying to find that word dimensional. Yes, the dimensions of what you see, and then the dimensions that are between the lines. There are. It is my belief that everything in the invisible world, everything in the spirit world, is inside of humans. This is where they abide. This is how they know your thoughts and are able to become your thoughts. And this is what you always have to remember, is that your spirit guides are there for the purpose within your mind of helping you reach your enlightenment. That means learning your lessons, getting what you deserve, and that takes us to a very interesting point. Cody says, I feel like I have my own dimensional world. And that's exactly right. Each one of us creates our own world. The only world that you or I know is the physical world around us, and what our five senses are able to feel, and who knows what else is out there. And my own community, exactly. This is your spirit guides, and not only do you have guides, your main guides who are trying to help you get along to your enlightenment, but you also have hangers on, those who are with you merely to experience your emotions. Those in the spirit world have a choice to make. Do they come back through reincarnation, or do they hang out for a while in the spirit world? And those are the ones who can attach themselves to, say, a person who gets very, very angry, to experience the emotion. A person who brings much love into the world, good karma. They want to experience that emotion. And what's the most emotional thing that we do? And it's making love. Now, are you creating good karma or bad karma when you make love? It depends on what's in your mind. If you are fantasizing about someone else being someplace else, you're creating bad karma. If you are concentrating upon a single thought, your partner, and their bliss, then you're creating good karma. If you make love with any other thought in mind other than making your partner blissful, at that moment, you're not going about it right to create maximum good karma and good feeling and a situation where spirits will want to be part of your life, will be around you and almost be your guards for not stepping off a curve in front of a bus. And what you realize at some point is some point of having close calls that you didn't do that yourself. It's your guides, the same guides who can make you drive past something that you don't see because you're thinking about something else. They can put blinders on you and have you walk right through things. So always remember that your guides will show you what they want you to see, what they think will be useful toward you reaching your enlightenment. And that means learning your lessons, learning that this brings that reaction from other people. Cody says that dimensional world, I called it yesterday, it's not a real place in this dimensional world, but in my mind, heart, and soul. Came up with that idea from 11 years ago. Exactly. We all have our own world, and we can change it. And so it brings up a very interesting point, and that is the Akashic records, what the religions of Abraham call the Book of Life. Is your future written in stone? Is it already laid out there in the Book of Life? It's not. Your previous lives, everything is contained right there. You can access this. Your guides can access this. The angels can access this and then tell you what they want you to know, right? So when we are trying to make decisions, we have to know that our guides are there to help us. That they want to be helpful. They want us to be happy, because the greatest emotion of all is happiness, is contentment. The Buddhists say, stop grasping, right? Be content with what you have. That contentment is the greatest form of happiness. And this is why we're here on Earth, is to be able to help each other, to find these things, to know that each and every one of us is completely different from everyone else, but in a lot of ways, we're exactly the same. How can we be so different from each other and yet so much alike, and going through so many of the same things that people say, 1,000 years ago we're going through. Cody says it's like the wonderful world of Walt Disney, Wizard of Oz, the Golden Age, radio and TV, feeling in the yesterday world. That really is the biggest change in the world. Television reflects the society. Very seldom leads the society. Movies either. Movies are about what happened in the past, right? Cody says it's a wonderful, magical feeling. There really is magic in this world. And when you accept that fact, then you accept the fact that you are the magician. You are blessed. You have everything that you need within you, and anything else is just window dressing. It's just things that people want to sell you. Cody says yes. So when television in the 60s turned so mundane, so I mean, when you look at the really big hit shows that were anything but mind stretching, then you have to agree with Minnow. It really is a wasted land out there for television. Cody says that's why I've called myself the last 20th century dreamer. If we didn't dream, if we didn't dream, we'd have to live all these things out. You get to live vicariously in your dreams just by thinking it out through a daydream. You can experience the feelings, and it's what you feel inside is always obvious to people on the outside. Reading body language, reading someone's face is what you have done every day that you've been on this planet. You get good at it. The older you get, the more you see that stereotypes mean nothing. No one is what they seem to look like. And and everyone is presenting a mask of some sort. And everyone is trying to please the rest of the world and trying to do what they want. Gleason called the Great One and Mr. Saturday Night. It's the entertainment business is such a fine line to walk. It's really the mindset in the 1950s in schools. We used to watch films that showed us how good life was going to be in the future, what was coming, and the big thing that futurists were really concerned about was having too much leisure time, too much, and no way to really fill that leisure time. And yes, and then people became addicted to television and started to leave it on all night, right? And to sleep to, because it was such a part of their lives. I would say Mr. Radio would be Jack Benny. Jack Benny had such a wonderful approach. Jack didn't have a very funny voice, which is what got so many people on radio. I mean, Ozzie Nelson, right? Ozzie Nelson was a band leader who had a funny voice. So he got his own radio show and made it into a TV show. The Jack Benny was probably the classiest performer who's ever been on radio or television, and could do more by raising an eyebrow than most comedians could. He could make people howl because he was us. He was so vain. He was so into himself that he missed everything else that went on around him. And that was the joke. And Mr. Vaudeville would be George Burns. George Burns, who did it when he was practically 100 years old, still telling them the same jokes, right, and getting the same reactions. It's all in how you tell the joke. It's all in how you present yourself. And Jack Benny, of course, is still 39 years old. That talk about a joke that got that had legs. No. Benny's jokes were so ingrained in the language of the nation that all he had to do was pull out the violin. Didn't have to play it, just pull it out, and everybody got the joke. Everybody in those days was on the side of the performer. And somewhere along the line, we've lost that. The biggest problem in the world today is that we're suffocating under authority. Everybody wants to be in charge. Everybody wants to tell other people what to do, whether or not they know what they're doing themselves. So Cody says he loved it when Jack Benny actually played the violin. To be able to play on cue badly, Benny was a good violinist. He knew what he was doing. If you can play comedy on a violin, you are quite a musician. And these were the people, the great performers of the 30s and 40s and the 1950s, whose personal life was never discussed. They were held up on a pedestal just the way that politicians were. There was no reporting of the personal life dalliances of entertainers, and somewhere along the line, and I guess it must have happened in Hollywood, that we turned on ourselves. We turned on success, and the general population began to think that it was a bad thing. And this is the sort of thing that can be changed. When you think about the way that things have come together and how influenced we are by media, it would have been just as easy in this country to create very sane, very normal, very happy people who lived together, who could count on each other and know that their neighbor would always do the right thing, and didn't have to worry about the really off the wall people who seem to take all of the headlines today. And I guess that's why we specialize in tearing people down. Anyone who becomes successful can expect to be attacked and to be ridiculed. And the example that really comes to my mind is a man from my own state, Al Gore, Al Gore Jr., the man who should have been president, and was totally ignored. And to be able to give yourself to public service and then to be thrown away by those same people. It's such a strange path that politicians follow, and surely there's going to be a change in the general way that we do business politically, because it doesn't seem to be working. And you can only bang your head against the wall so often, and then you have to admit that maybe the other side, maybe they had some good ideas. And you start thinking about why you turn down the good ideas or even the charity of your enemies. Why are you so afraid of the Good Samaritan? That was the parable that Jesus told. Can you accept the help of your enemy? That person over in the next town that we fight against them all the time, and now this one wants to help me. And am I stupid to accept that, or am I human and able to compromise? I thought compromising was the main job of politicians. They were supposed to be doing the public service, and that's the other side, right? Is if you are an elected official, you are a public servant. You do what the people want. Not you don't try to lead from way out front. You don't try and tell the people what they should do, what they should want, and you don't do that by fear. That's and it seems to be the biggest motivator in these days is of fear. And that is our hour, and we'll be back next week. I'm Franklin, and thanks to all of you for taking part in the show tonight. And remember to hit the thumbs up button to show your support. And I'll see you back here next week, same place, same channel for the Cosmic Watch.